So I'm going to talk about how a NEBOSH examiner would go about actually marking a exam script. I'm just going to use this first video as a introduction into the topic because I want to break it down. So what happens is NEBOSH send out papers that they want examiners to mark. What you might be thinking is that NEBOSH just say to examiners, here you go, here's a batch of papers for you to mark, have a look at them, have a read and see what you think, send them back to us. In other words, they're basically, NEBOSH examiners are sort of given complete free rein to award marks however they see fit. But I can tell you that's not actually how it works. What NEBOSH need to do, this is something that they worked to put a system in place to ensure consistency. If NEBOSH just simply sort of left examiners to get on with it, some examiners will be sort of on the strict side, some examiners will be on the lenient side. There'll be a lot of diversity. It wouldn't be fair. So what NEBOSH do is they've got a system to try and get it as the exam marking to be as fair and consistent as they can possibly get it. The way that they do that is by supplying examiners with a mark scheme that's specific to that particular exam. Now, these mark schemes are classified as confidential, but to be honest, there's nothing particularly mysterious about them. What they basically are is a short sort of bullet point list. It doesn't go into detail. It's a short bullet point list that sets out to examiners exactly what they can give a mark for. An examiner, if they're deciding that they want to give a mark for a particular sentence or paragraph that a learner has put down, if they want to give a mark, they have to be able to correspond that mark to one of the bullets on the bullet point list. If they can't do that, the examiner cannot award a mark. No matter what their opinions are about what the learner has written, if it is not on the mark scheme, if they can't find a corresponding bullet point on the mark scheme, and of course these things they don't have to be verbatim, they don't have to be word for word. An examiner just needs to be able to match them up and say, I'm awarding that mark for that point on the mark scheme. For now, what I want you to think about is the fact that there is a mark scheme in play when your exam answers are going to be marked. In the next video, or maybe the next two videos, depending on how it goes, I'll make up a scenario, I'll make up a question based on that scenario, I'll make up a mock mark scheme, and I'll provide a mock answer, and I'll show you step by step how an examiner would go about the process of awarding marks or not awarding marks, as the case may be. And you can then use that information and fold that into your preparation and your practice and your study and revision, and hopefully it will help you to steer clear of some fairly common errors. I'm seeing a few patterns that are being repeated. Knowing how your paper, your final paper, will end up being marked will help you to steer clear of a few of these common mistakes. So subscribe, make sure that your notifications are on if you want to receive a notification of when the next video comes out in this series, where we'll be sort of diving in fairly deep into how your exam paper will be marked.